We are live. What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Off the Ball podcast with me, your host, Chris LeBron. And on today's show, I got a special guest with me. This is the second time on the show. We had him on around this time last year, so I'm very happy to have him on the show. I got Pierre from the Through the Wire, 1/4 of Through the Wire, aka Pee Wee the Plug. What's going on, my brother?
Happy to be here, man. Last time we had a hell of a time. I'm still shocked that your name is actually LeBron, like Chris LeBron. I remember that discussion. I thought it was just like the screen name. You're like, no, that's really my name.
Man, people be going at me like, it's like my gamer tag too. So I put like King LeBron. So just to get people going, they're like, oh man, you on LeBron's thing and all this. I'm like, no, man, it's my name. Like I've had I don't know. So when the Heat first assembled, I had King LeBron as my handle. Dude, when they lost, my mentions blew up. They're saying, yo, you choked in the finals. Dude, I remember I'm like, yo, why is my phone blowing up? They getting at me. They thinking I'm LeBron James because it's King LeBron. I'm like, and I'm tweeting back, man, I'm sorry. I didn't play well, man. I'm disappointed. I'm like, yo, people were going hard at me. It was funny. So yeah, it's my son. I remember telling you my son's name's Jordan LeBron. So a lot of pressure, man. There's some pressure, man. You got to live up to it. So, and I didn't do it on purpose. It was just I didn't even think about it. Then after, like, I just named him Jordan LeBron. So some big shoes to fill. But I think he's gonna be able to handle all that. So, how you been, bro? How's everything?
I'm good, man. I'm happy. The season is here, basically. Yes. You know what I mean? And I'm just fortunate for that because I remember, the pandemic and having to have the season suspended for a while, and that makes everything a little different these times around. I feel like as fans we're a little bit more appreciative, and we don't take the game for granted because for the first time it really was taken away. So I'm just happy. Obviously, our Knicks are looking good, and I'm happy that they're playing the preseason because before last night it was just how they looked on paper. But last night, even though it's just preseason, we got a bit of a taste. You know what I mean? And I'm liking what I'm seeing. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. So when we talked last time, right, we were kind of like, we weren't sure about this Knicks team, right? Exactly. We were kind of trying to figure out, like, we knew they'd be better, but we didn't know how good they would be, right? We were saying, okay, we got Obi, Randall. We don't know if he's even going to be here. Is he going to get traded? How's RJ going to look, Mitch, and all that. So we had some optimism, but there was still like, okay, we're still not sure. This time, there's a whole different vibe. There's a whole different vibe around the city, around Knicks Nation and all that. Like it's electric right now. So for you, last season, what did last season mean to you as a Knicks fan? Because it was a special season, a season that, like you said, we thought we'd be better. But I mean, like being a 4 seed, home court advantage in the first round, Julius Randle being all NBA second team, most improved. Like I don't know a lot of people who envision all that happening. If any, if you did, man, you should have played the lottery and do all that. But just talk to me about last season because it was truly a special year for the New York Knicks.
It was special. But I'm a realist and I'm a basketball guy. You know what I mean? In my heart, like I've been around this game my entire life, so I know how things go. So I wasn't like the average Knicks fan where I was excited, but I was humbled with it because I knew a lot of stuff that was going on. So first and foremost, let's address the main thing. When we got our stuff together and started rolling, a lot of people gave us, like fake flowers, I'll say. Yeah. A lot of people wanted to jump on our bandwagon, was congratulating us. Oh, I'm rooting for y'all. I'm happy. It's good to see the Knicks back good. And then I wasn't buying it. I was like accepting it a little bit, but I still
same here.
Y'all tried to kick us when we was down. We missed out on KD, Kyrie, Zion, and y'all laughed.
Yeah, jokes, all the jokes, yep.
All the jokes. So I wasn't trying to hear it. And I'm glad that I was that way because as soon as the playoffs came and we struggled and we lost to the Hawks, all the jokes came
back. Julius ain't this. All the Knicks just, they were fake, frauds, all this. Yeah, they came back quick. They were waiting for that. So quick. They were lurking. They were lurking in the back. They're like, oh, I can't wait till they slip up. And then boom, we slipped up and came out.
I was prepared for it. So I was always happy on the inside and very proud. I would say that's my word. I was proud more than anything as a Knicks fan for us to have the season that we did have. But I never got too high. And I'm gonna never get too low. I'm gonna just always be there until we win the championship, because that's the ultimate goal. And now what I've been trying to preach to Knicks fans is that we have expectations. We're not going to catch anybody by surprise. Being a 4th seed again won't be super crazy. We were having many parades in New York after certain wins. It can't be the same anymore. We have a year under our belt of winning, so now there's more pressure because there's expectations. We have a coach of the year. Julius won't be most improved again. So now it's time to start building on last year and not being happy or complacent or satisfied with just making the playoffs. Now we have to make the playoffs, win a series, and then build on top of that. And that's the type of Knicks fan that I am and that I've been, and I'm going to continue to be until we win the championship. I'm happy, I'm proud, but I understand that I'm not super satisfied with just making the playoffs. That was just a first step in the right direction. Now let's build on that to get that ultimate, trophy and goal, which is the championship.
Exactly. And like you said, this year now comes with expectations, right? And we're gonna have fans full capacity for every game now, because beginning of the season, no fans. There's no one's expecting anything of us, right? So now we got Julius Randle. He just got paid. All NBA second team, was an all-star, most improved, coach of the year. Derrick Rose was a third and sixth man of the year. Now there comes expectation. Now, like you said, people are waiting for the Knicks to slip up and be like, get on them. Like, oh, see, last year was a fluke. Everything just happened to go. Which, listen, and like you said, I try to be as real as possible. All the shows, I'm like, a lot of things broke our way last year, and which is, hey, you capitalize on all those, players being out for other teams and all that. But like what happened in the playoffs is, that was tough, So it's like, how do we build with knowing there is going to be lofty expectations, that the city is buzzing, right? Knicks fans are going crazy, I mean, most teams fans, preseason, they're like, whatever. Knicks, man, we thought that was game one of the NBA playoffs. Like, you would have thought it was a playoff game yesterday. It was a preseason game, but Kemba coming, finally coming, so there's a lot of expectations. So I'm really intrigued to see how they handle all that, because like I said, a lot of things came away. Julius Randle, like, listen, I'll keep it real with Julius. Like, hey, he came in with a chip on the shoulder. That last year was not guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Obi, they drafted Obi to take his spot. Let's keep it real. He was trying to take his spot, so he came in ready to go. So let's see how he is when he got the money. His spot is secured and all that. So, so obviously, Kemba's here, a lot of, draft picks and all that. How did you like the Knicks offseason this year?
I loved it. Fournier was a big
too, man. He looked good yesterday too,
he did too. Yeah. And then, the cherry on top for me was the Kemba signing, just because he was bought out. We got him at a low price. I think it's impossible for us to lose that situation just because of the bargain that we got him on. I think the draft was very well. A lot of guys that we had our eyes on, like Chris Duarte, Trey Murphy, they weren't available. So we traded back, got more assets, and was real smart, and even got some guys that we did want, like Miles McBride. I think Deuce is a Knick. He fits the culture.
That was a steal, man, the second round, man. A steal.
Quentin Grimes, you know what I mean? Even Jericho Sims. So, and then we were able to bring back guys who played vital parts, like Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks. Those were big time things for me to bring. Derrick Rose, bring those guys back, which again was a 4th seed. And a lot of people will try to say a lot of things went our way, but that's every year. Every team that's successful has things that go their way.
Look at Milwaukee, man. Look at the Milwaukee Bucks, the champions. Look,
exactly.
The Nets, they had injuries. The Hawks had injuries. Hey, you take advantage of it. Hey,
you take advantage. So we brought that team back. That was a 4th seed caliber. Now you bring back Obi Toppin, who again is just preseason, but even last night looked way more confident and understanding of who he is. Quickly has another year under his belt, and then we add to that with more quality players that aren't just good players, but they were kind of what we needed. Kemba's a shot creator now. And that playoff series, it went dry. And I remember when we had to just have Derrick Rose go out there and do his thing. But now we have more that. We have Evan Fournier, who's not just a shooter, but a scoring shooter who
Can
at
create
times is
too.
going to be able to space that floor out. Another year under RJ's belt. So we got a lot of things, going on in our direction. And then obviously Mitchell Robinson is healthy, and we're going to see what we can get from him and how that pans out. But I think we were a good team who had a great offseason and got better. That's always my thing as a fan, but even just as somebody who analyzes the game and watches and judges things for a living. I always look at what teams got better. And I feel like the Knicks were one of those teams this offseason that went out there and truly got better. You know what I mean? How much better? We'll find out. On paper, it wasn't anything drastic. I don't think we're a 1 seed all of a sudden. But on paper, we had holes, and I felt like we filled them. And that, as a fan, that's all you pretty much can ask for, is filling those holes and those flaws as much as you can. And we accomplished that.
To me, the one word I've used a lot is continuity. That's something we haven't had in New York in a long time, right? How many times we've seen a new team, new players, and it's just like, oh, this ain't gonna work because you're just bringing in. There's no chemistry and all that. Bringing back Nerlens, bringing back Burks, we brought back that continuity, that chemistry we had. That team was a bonded tremendously last year, and to bring back those guys, I know people were like, oh, why'd they bring back D Rose for this? Why'd they bring back Nerlens for that? It's like, it's just we got to bring back that. We got to show that we can repeat this again. To prove if we want to take that next step and get that whoever that next guy is, that star potentially, to show that, hey, the Knicks are not the same old Knicks. We got continuity. Right. We got a competent front office. We got a great coaching staff. We're showing. We're gonna. We're not just. It used to be. I felt like the pitch used to be for New York is like bright lights, city, market. All that market, and it's like, well, at the end, it's like, well, we don't have a really good organization, but yeah, we got bright lights. It's like, like now you can be like, hey, we got great coaching. We got great roster. We got great front office and New York City. And now you finish it. Now you cap it off. You put the bow on, and you're like, hey. Now it's like, okay, all right, okay. Now we're talking. And that's what it feels like now.
That's the part where a lot of people don't also understand. Is like, at the end of the day, it's just money. You know what I mean? Money is always going to be there. If what I've learned is, if a player wants to go to a place, they're going to find a way to get him there. There's no way in hell, hypothetically. I'm trying to think of a guy. Let's just say James Harden opted out of his deal with the Nets after next season, and he just wanted so badly to come to the Knicks. They would make it work. Whenever a player wants to go to a place of that caliber, that multitude, they get to go where they want to go. Strings can be pulled, things can be moved around and rearranged. So I'm not concerned about any of the deals we gave anybody. I saw a fuss about Fournier, but you look at the market of players in his caliber. He, Norman Powell got more money than him.
He got what, 90 million? Yeah, Norman got the bag. Yeah,
so that's what it is. It's a market value, and I know we have a lot of fans, especially in Knick Nation, who aren't. I don't want to call them casuals, but they're not all the way in tune either. They're right there in the middle, and I think a lot of fans don't understand that. Is that a lot of times you got to do what you have to do to bring back these players, and this isn't 2K. On 2K, you can have a revolving door, and continuity doesn't matter anything. But familiarity, roles, you know what I mean? Like, for a player to come back and like Derrick Rose and understand his role is big. You know what I mean? He came through the door. Welcome, Kemba. Kemba's going to start. Alec Burks, they already know their role. There's nothing that anybody has to change or that's going to be new for anybody. And that's a big part of chemistry and continuity, like you were saying, was understanding your role and understanding what we want from you. And to have those players back with a clear understanding, even though they killed it last year in those roles, not even have a better understanding of it and know what's expected, they're going to be even better. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it. They think it's 2K. Oh, he wants that much, we'll just get another guy. And now that's a new guy you have to teach, a new guy in the locker room, a new guy who isn't used to Thibodeau's coaching.
Exactly.
Understand what's going to be expected or asked for him. And then that's how shit goes left. But I love everything that we did. I'm excited. I agree with everything you said. We're showing that we know how to build a team. And for me, if I was an elite player in this league and I wanted to go somewhere, I would be concerned about a person knowing how to build around, because there's so much talent out here that we've seen hasn't had the proper success. You look at a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, that guy's name used to be, he was a guy with those GM surveys. They would say he was to get a team built around him. It was top 3 centers, him, Embiid, and Jokic. His name is kind of falling out of there, but that ain't because of him. That's just because the Timberwolves haven't been relevant. But we got a guy like that now, and he has ties with Leon Rose, who now, if you look, the Knicks know how to build a team. You know what I mean? Even without a person to build around, they've built a nice ass team. So when the doors do open up, I hope that people do pay attention around the league and say, "Oh, Leon Rose and those guys know how to put a team together."
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like you see the Timberwolves, right? And just the mess that's been, and you just look at the talent they just have.
Right.
They got some like potential stars, Anthony Edwards, D'Lo, like you said, Karl-Anthony Towns. They got some guys who are, but it's just they don't. Whatever happening over there, the mismanagement, they just fired, they fired their coach last year. That was real shady how they handled that, bringing in another guy from, I think from Toronto in, like, and just, and then, the firing of the, not, it just disaster. And you see, but you just look at the talent and you're like,
it's there.
The Knicks and Timberwolves, you're like, okay, Timberwolves got all the talent in the world. They got a bunch of top 50 guys. But you look, they're losing 60 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and now people are looking at Karl-Anthony Towns, and it's like, well, he ain't good no more. Like he ain't it. Right. And they did this with Devin Booker, right? Devin Booker was like all empty stats. He just, he had 70 points and they lost. And then, you bring in the CP3, you teach him, he teaches him how to win, and now everyone looks at him differently. It's crazy how once you have a competent front office, how everything, the narrative changes around. Look at Devin, like we said, Devin Booker, how it changed just like that overnight. And now people look at him differently,
And that's my dude. So I was so happy that he had the success he had, because I'm a guy that I don't believe in a such thing as empty stats. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, I hate that.
I've been watching basketball all my life. I was born in 95. So I've been watching basketball all my life. Empty stats has never been real to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm on a losing team, should I not perform?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I never understood that. Like that was the Booker, Beal, people's Levine, Zach Levine. They said that. Oh, he's averaging 25.
Another one of my guys. Yeah.
It's like no. Like,
but what happens is they say that about those guys. Then the minute they go and join up with a Kevin Durant, now it's unfair. But you just said he was empty stats. So
man. People, you know how that works.
Yeah, because if we put together Karl-Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, and Zach Levine on one team, if they all play for Phoenix, it'd be a scary sight. Mm-hmm. But you calling them guys empty stats? That empty stats thing should be deaded, because as soon as they gave Devin Booker some competent help, they went to the finals.
They went to the finals.
Isn't it crazy? The first year he got help. Went to the final, and like you said, things went their way, but that's every year. You know what I mean? A lot of the Warriors dynasty is things going their way.
That year one, Kyrie gets hurt.
All the point guards they play were hurt.
Kevin Love got hurt. With in the Boston series, things went their way. Portland got banged up. Every team they played, but hey, rather that than rather be lucky than not, right? Yeah. So you take it and you take advantage. And like we mentioned with the Knicks, like, hey, a lot of teams they played, guys, we had the whole COVID situation, injuries. Hey, you take it. But now we got expectations, and there's going to be that, people go, like we mentioned before, people are dying for the Knicks to fall off again.
Yes, they are.
Because, like you said, it's that fake love. Like, you hear on all these, like, oh, yeah, the Knicks are back and all this. But the minute we start off 2-8, if that happens, they're going to come, the Knicks for clicks, and it's just going to be a seat. Nobody complained. No, Sacramento has been, and I say this all the time, Sacramento is what people think the Knicks are, right? Sacramento has made the playoffs in 15 years.
For sure.
The Timberwolves have made one playoff appearance since KG, but nobody cares about them. But the minute the Knicks, we don't get the lottery, we lose 50 games, 60 games.
Anything, yep.
And it just go. But this season, like I said, the vibes are different. It feels good. The energy, the rookie, the draft picks, are good. Even though people were crapping on the picks, Grimes. I remember I was on Knicks Fan TV and people were bugging about Grimes. I'm like, no, he could shoot. Yeah. That's what we need. We need shooters. and then McBride getting the second round. That was, Jericho Sims. We'll see what he can get, hit for him, So Andrew Kobitis, that's someone who's going to be a stash, but I think he could show something in a few years. So the vibes in New York are good right now. So I'm definitely excited. So let me get into the next topic I want to talk about. What are some of the best? Give me a couple free agent signings that you will really like this season that you think they can make a true impact for their teams.
Just signings or just acquisitions in
general? Signings, yeah, free agent signings.
Well, the Lonzo Ball to the Bulls is a big one.
I was Lonzo to New York, man. I wanted him in New York. I've been wanting him for years, but that's a great. Chicago did some good things this year.
Yeah, I like everything that they did, but I think that was the one that brought everything together. That was like the domino effect for them because it was they got Vucevic last year in the trade. Then they added Lonzo, and before you knew it, Caruso now went. Lonzo's former teammate. I saw DeRozan on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, and he talked about seeing that all formulate, and then he was like, "Oh man, I gotta go now." So that Lonzo Ball one really, really changed that for them. Some low key signings that I like that maybe aren't as big of names, but I look at what the Denver Nuggets did with Jeff Green and JaMychal Green. I think those are some nice pickups there. Just because they have so much that those guys are going to be able to run small ball 5, pick and pops. They're going to have so many different ways to play. And I think that's the recipe to win in this league is being able to be as versatile as possible with your roster. I look at the Boston Celtics, again, kind of similar to the Knicks, for them to be able to get Schroeder on the deal that they got him on, kind of how we got Kemba.
Bargain.
Yes, a very big bargain. When you look at, the market, would they get him for like $5 or $7 million?
$5. I think one for $5. Yeah. And he's gonna be able to listen. I know people were clowning him, for passing up on the extension, but hey, he's still, if he has a good year, that money's gonna be there next year.
Yeah, they just were offering him $84 million 6 months ago. He didn't do anything in those 6 months that made him literally lose $84 million. Spencer Dinwiddie to the Wizards, I like.
That was a good one too.
Man,
that was a good one.
A really good one.
They're gonna score. They're gonna score a lot. They may not play a lot of defense in Washington, but they're gonna score.
That team is going to score a lot of buckets. The Bucks got a few people that I liked. No, the Heat really did the thing. Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, bringing Victor Oladipo back. That was
another bargain deal with Oladipo. I know he's had his injuries, but if they can get him right for that second half of that season, that's a steal right there.
Philadelphia getting Drummond, just because Joel Embiid is a guy where even if he's not necessarily hurt, they're probably going to rest him a lot, and I think now you have Andre Drummond who can start some games. If you want to sit Joel for 15, 20 games, Drummond is a starting caliber center who can hold it down at least. You know what I mean? I think that's always going to be vital for Philly is to have a guy who can back up Joel Embiid, but can play 10 to 15 games as a starter and be a legit starter. And I think Drummond can do that for them. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of signings, but those are some of the ones I really like. Obviously, Brooklyn did a lot of good things. They added my cousin to their team. Shout out to Javon. So I'm a Knicks fan, but I will be rooting for Brooklyn just because family ties a little bit. I mean, the Lakers made a whole new roster.
They got that senior center up in there in the Staples Center.
We could talk about their signings for the rest of the episode. How many they have?
Yeah.
Those are some of the low key ones I like. I like Kelly Oubre to the Hornets. That was nice.
That's a league pass. We talked about them last time. All league pass teams. And they added that. They're gonna have a fun team to watch.
Yeah, very very fun team. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, for the most part, I would say those are some of my favorite ones. There was so much movement. I think every year is going to just keep getting crazy and crazy with the movement. But I like I also like. But I'll tell you one I don't like. I don't like the move that the Grizzlies did, where they got Steven Adams and they traded Valanciunas to the Pelicans. I feel like Valanciunas at times was their second best player.
Underrated. I just feel like it's because he's an old school type, back to the basket, that we don't value that no more, but it still has its value in this league. And I just feel like he's one of those guys that's going to be on a new team every year, but he's still going to give you 20 and 10. You're just going to be like, why does he keep bouncing around? He's still value. Like he could play. And it's just, Steven Adams just, he's solid, but it's like, I didn't get that one. That you're right.
Yeah.
That one was a kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah. That one was interesting.
Yeah. Cause I don't get, they're trying to dinosaur the back, back to the basket guy. And it's like,
he's not going for it though.
No. He's a bull down there, so he's still.
One more. Rudy Gay to the Jazz. I like Rudy Gay to the Jazz.
It feels like he's been around forever, man. Mm-hmm. He's been hoping for a minute. All right. So we discussed that. Give me 3 young guys you're buying low right now that you got you're looking at the stock market and you're like, all right, I'm gonna invest in these 3 young guys.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. Does Ben Simmons qualify as a young guy?
Man, he feels like he's been around forever. What do you mean? He's only like 24, 25. Right. Yeah, you could put him in. He's still young.
I'm wondering about
there's still a lot in Ben Simmons. I feel like we haven't seen. I know people. I know he's another guy. People have been railing on him, but man, people forget this guy's an all-star. He can lock up. He to me should have won Defensive Player of the Year because I feel like his value defensively. What Rudy does is very valuable, right? Rim protecting, but what Ben does, guarding 1 through 4, maybe 1 through 5, and he's locking up people. To me, that was more valuable than what Rudy does. I mean, maybe because it was stats, but to me, Ben is all world defensively and just does so many great things that we forget. We were so focused on the shooting that we forget about. Oh man, he could do everything else really good, and he's 6'10".
I won't use him, but I just had to put his name out there because I'm still high on Ben Simmons. It takes a lot for a guy to lose my interest. 1 playoff series is not enough. It's the same thing if a guy has a great playoff series. I don't become like super high on a guy because he has a good 7 games. So I don't go extremely low on a guy because he has a tough series. And that's literally the worst basketball we've ever seen from him. Since we've heard that name, Ben Simmons, we've never seen him play that poorly. So there's no reason to think that he can't bounce back or all of a sudden that's who he is. And I do think when he is moved and traded, that he can be a better basketball player. And I think that's one of the lost things about that situation is if you listen to what some of the stuff that they're saying, it's more about him going somewhere to expand and really reach his fullest potential, more so than it's like, I don't like Joel Embiid and my teammates. I'm not saying that they're the best as friends, but I don't think it's just like I don't want to play with them. But for me to be the best version of myself,
exactly, yeah,
I have to have some different things, and it speaks volumes on how good those 2 are because they aren't the perfect marriage. But at a young age, Dave almost got really, really close to doing a damn thing out there in Philly. They was a doink way with the Kawhi from advancing.
Exactly.
They
were number 1 seed, they were the number 1 seed in the East, and yes, we could talk about this for this is an episode in itself about the Philadelphia 76ers, but it's like, this team was a number 1 seed defensively. They were elite. I mean, Joel Embiid doesn't get hurt. He's the MVP. Ben Simmons, like we just mentioned, should have been Defensive Player of the Year in our opinion. Yeah. 2 anchors on defense. Embiid could do his thing. Just a few doinks, like you said, a couple years ago against Toronto, a few breaks this year against Atlanta, and they're in the conference. Even with all that, they went 7 with Atlanta, who just got hot, right? Atlanta was a team that they got hot at the right time.
And some extreme things happened for Philly. It was just bad timing. We talk about how bad Ben was, but Joel Embiid also in Game 4 went 4 of 20 and shot 20% from the field. When is he ever going to do that?
No,
he's never. He didn't score a field goal in the second half. That in the 3rd or 4th quarter, he didn't make a field goal. That would never happen. You know what I mean? But that was an extreme case in Game 4. In Game 5, right after that, Tobias Harris went 2 of 11. And as bad as Ben Simmons was, he scored less points than him. He had 4 points the entire game. That's very extreme. You know what I mean? Extreme things. And I hate to sound like I'm a Sixers fan because we're doing a lot, a lot of vouching for them. But it's just the facts. Some extreme things really 100%. Happen. And shout out to Atlanta for taking advantage. Because like you said earlier, shit happens, but it's all about taking advantage. And Atlanta took advantage, man. So shout out to Atlanta.
Atlanta got healthy at the right, because everyone. Let's go with the Knicks first round. Everyone was like, "Yo, I want Atlanta." I was like, "Let's, Atlanta's getting healthy right now." Like I was like, I don't know if I want them, like, because all their shooters again. Bogey's getting healthy. Gallo got healthy. Trey got healthy. This could be, I don't know if we fully want Atlanta. And listen, and they showed us, like you said, they got healthy at the right time. And everything went right for them in those first two series against the Knicks and Philly. So, the Ben stuff is gotten real crazy. It's wild. It's
my
really
bad
wild.
for sidetracking us, because you're right. That is a whole episode in itself. 3 young guys. The first guy I'm gonna give you, Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Pelicans.
I just saw your video too on that, and I've been high on him for a few years too.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of him since he was at Virginia Tech. I felt like he was going to be the better out of the Alexanders because Shea is his cousin. Shea got a little situation going for him earlier, but I do think highly of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Some minutes in the rotation have cleared up for him out there in New Orleans because
Stan. It felt like Stan had like an agenda against him. It felt like that's another show in itself too. The whole Pelican stand, like I didn't get that at all. But yeah, I thought he was on my old breakout team. Actually, I did a whole article. He was on my own breakout team. I thought he was gonna just absolutely light it up.
Would have him on this breakout again. Put him on that list again.
Yep.
A guy that I just think he can do a lot of things over there. I think he can score. I think he can play big point guard minutes for them because they don't have a traditional one. Like Devontae Graham is more of a floor spacing guard.
He's
don't know how much they're going to trust Tomas Satoransky. So you can have him out there playing the 2 if you do trust Satoransky. You can have him out there playing a 1 because Kyra Lewis is still pretty young. But yeah, I like Nickeil Alexander a lot out there in New Orleans. I'm a big Darius Bazley guy with the Thunder.
Bazley, yep.
Love Darius Bazley. His game reminds me of a young Lamar Odom. Just gotta start sharpening those tools that he has with the with his young age. But I think he's going to be very, very special. And the thing I love about OKC is they have so much young talent, but they have availability. Like they allow them to play, and that's the best way to learn is to play in the actual games instead of summer. A lot of teams use the summer league and preseason to give their guys minutes, but they're going to get real games.
Oh, they're gonna play. They're gonna play.
Because they're gonna play.
They're gonna play.
So I like that. A lot of opportunity out there in OKC. And then another guy. A young guy that I really like. I'm trying to think of somebody. Oh, Cam Reddish from the Hawks. Cam Reddish. I love Cam Reddish, man. I mean, I wish he was a Knick so bad, man. I just love his game. And I think right now we're only seeing like 20 to 25% of it because he's in a situation where Trae Young commands a lot of the basketball.
DeAndre Hunter's right. DeAndre Hunter's playing his position too. So like
there's a position. Herter's getting minutes. And he was hurt a lot last year with the Achilles, which hurt him a lot. But I do think that there's going to be a situation and a time, and I don't know when, but Atlanta is going to make a trade.
Been saying that. I've been saying that.
Is going to be a part of that package, and he's going to go somewhere where he can spread his wings a little bit more. And people are going to be like, man, this dude can really play. If they're not already saying that, because Cam Reddish does get a lot of love as a young guy. But I could see, like, for example, Bradley Beal, right? Like
that was the first name I thought about. Like, to me, the Bradley Beal to Atlanta, that's perfect. Because what Atlanta could do is they could still give up, like they can give up, Reddish and a bunch of picks and all that and still have their core. And still have Bogey and all that, and still have their core, and then they could give up exactly, and still have a great team.
I would try to give them Reddish, Herter, a Kongwu.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot, and I totally forgot about Onyeka Okongwu. Like
they can give them 2 picks. That's a hell of a package.
Yep.
Reddish, Herter, a Kongwu, and a couple picks, and like you said, you would still have Trae Young, Bradley Beal, Bogdanovich, Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, Gallinari. You would have a lot there still. Ooh. So, man,
Atlanta's they put themselves in a tremendous position to have, like you said, to be able to trade some young pieces and still have your young core and be able to get a Bradley Beal type player. So they're to me, they're a team that's just sky's the limit for them. Like you said, health is the only thing that could stop most teams, but especially them, that they're going to be all right. So, all right. I want to give you let's go to the last man. I appreciate you coming on the show again, man. It's always a pleasure chopping up with you. All right. So this segment is called Will He Be Traded?
Okay.
All right. So let's go through. I got 4 names here. Let's say, will they be traded? All right. First name, we just talked about him. Bradley Beal. Will he be traded?
This year or at all?
This year.
Not this year.
No.
Not this year. That team is going to be first and foremost the vaccination thing is in the air, but they can give him that extension that he desperately is going to want, the big money. So he's definitely going to stay for that. And I think that team is solid enough to be in a nice range out there in the East to compete for a playoff spot or a play-in spot again, like they did last year. So I don't think the only way they would have to be god awful. And I just don't think that team on paper, they got a lot. You know what I mean? They're kind of like a lesser version of the Knicks where they don't have as much talent, but I think they have a lot of depth. You have Spencer Dinwiddie, Aaron Holiday, Bradley Beal, Caldwell Pope, Corey Kispert, that they drafted, Kyle Kuzma, Rui Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, Daniel Gafford, Montrezl Harrell. They have a lot out there. So
Danny Avila, who hurt, he got hurt last year, so they brought him too.
Bertans. I mean, so like you said, they're going to score, but it's going to be about how they can stop others from scoring. But I definitely think they're going to be a solid team. So it's going to be hard to trade him.
Okay.
Or not hard to trade him. It's going to be hard. Maybe not hard, but he's been this reluctant so far asking for a trade. Winning games isn't going to, make that easier.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Karl Anthony Towns, will he be traded?
No. I think this is the year that the Timberwolves go in the right direction. He's healthy. D'Lo is healthy. Anthony Edwards is coming off, his rookie year. They got Jaden McDaniels, Taurean Prince,
Steele.
Naz Reid, Patrick Beverly, which won't be too much of a difference changer, but he can add some stuff there as far as leadership. So they got some things there. They got Malik Beasley will be there. Six-man guy, score the ball. So I think they're going to can't guarantee the playoffs, but I think their right step in direction for them would be to make the play-in, like to be the 10th or 9th seed, get in the play-in, and then build on that in the next season. So I don't think so, not this year.
Okay, we just talked about him too. Ben Simmons, will he be traded?
Yes, he will be traded. He will be traded. Hopefully sooner rather than later, so we can finally all get it over.
I know, right? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of every show leading off as Ben Simmons getting traded. It's like let's figure this out. Let's get this over with because it's getting tired.
My guy, it's draining, and I'm a Ben guy. I'm a Ben fan, so I'm just anxious to really see where he can go. And there are some teams that he can help. You know what I mean? Like I look around the league, especially at this point, and it's like. The best deal that I think is realistic is like a CJ McCollum, Covington to Philly for Ben and maybe some other things. But I would love to see a Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard tandem because, we've seen Ben with a dominant center, but we haven't seen him with a guard. Maybe a guard can unlock some things that we've been waiting to see. And as a Ben Simmons fan, I'm very excited for him to be in this position because he has to do one thing and one thing only now, and that's hoop at a high level. So his back is against the wall, and he has to silence everybody with hooping. The one way he can shut everybody up is if the next time we see him, he's dominant and is everything we want. So hopefully this controversy, the pressure, the scrutiny, the criticism is turning to fuel so that he can perform at a high level. I'm hoping.
Yeah. I mean, people forget he can hoop. It may not be shooting wise, but he still can hoop, man.
Yes,
he can ball. So I also like the Pacers too for him. No pressure.
Miles Turner, stretch 5, get out his way.
Exactly. I think that would be no pressure. Like I said, city that doesn't demand too much. Philly could be intimidating, right? It's like New York in a sense, right? Very intimidating, demanding. You could just hoop in Indiana, and I think you'd be more appreciated than would be, with Philly. So, some spots he could be at. So we'll see. All right. So let's cap it off with this. Damian Lillard, will he be traded?
That's a very good one, bro. I'm 50-50. I'm going to lean and say no. But I am 50-50 because if that thing in Portland starts off bad, then you would see that. But again, I just don't see them. I see them kind of being like Bradley Beal where they'll be good enough, but we know they won't be good enough to be taken serious. and I think he's going to give them one last try. Give Chauncey Billups a chance. You know what I mean? He want, help a black coach get in a good situation. Give at least give him a chance. So I think they'll play this year out. They'll be solid as they always are. They'll get into the playoffs, get bounced, and it'll be that same story where they're solid. They're a piece maybe away, but it's impossible for them to get that piece because all of their money is tied up. Damian is max. CJ is max. Norman Powell makes what, $100 million, $90 million.
That's crazy.
They're gonna have to pay Nurkic now soon, so it's just no way for them to drastically get better, and they keep running like a hamster on a hamster wheel, just keep running the same thing over and over because without them giving up one of those guys, they can't really get better. And I don't even know CJ's value. You know what I mean? I don't know his value. You may could get Ben Simmons just because the Sixers are a little bit desperate, but like outside of that, is CJ really bringing you anything back that's drastically changing you? Especially when everybody in the West is getting better. The Warriors are getting healthy now. It's tough.
Yeah, I've been saying that I feel like a Harden like getting traded really early in the season for Dame could be something because I just don't see this team going anywhere. It just, like you said, it's kind of on repeat. It's like we've seen this before. Like a few years ago when they played the Warriors, I feel like that was their cap. Like that's as far as they're gonna get. And like nobody, and they got swept. And like it was competitive, right? I think they were up like 10 every game, but it's like they just don't have enough. It's like, and with Dame, it's like he's already in his 30s, right? You know, how much longer is he gonna take it? I know he's that one of those loyal guys, but it's like. It's okay, dude. Like you deserve. Like we know you could go somewhere else. Like we want to see. We want to see. Hey, maybe maybe I ain't gonna say it, but maybe he heads out. I'm gonna keep it closed. Won't say nothing. But we know.
You know what I'm thinking. A lot of guys to some bigger deals. That makes it easier to move for max players.
Exactly. That's why I liked what the Knicks did. Flexible deals. Not gonna say nothing. Gonna keep it like that. But we'll gonna wrap it up that way. But man, Pierre. Through the wire, brother. It was a pleasure, man.
Man, yes, I saw you tweet me. Anytime you need me, man, I'm one tweet, one DM away. Love what you're doing. I hope that this is a magnificent season for our Knicks.
Yes.
Wish you nothing but love and support and success coming your way. Another good year. Glad to hear your son doing his thing.
Oh yeah, he hitting, man. He hitting.
I love me some Sean Taylor, man. So blessings to him, with a healthy season of first year of football. And
yes, appreciate
much love to the rest of the fam. Hope everybody stays safe and just has, some incredible years, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate all that. And success to you, man. You killing it, brother. You really are,
Thank
man.
you, man.
And what I love about you is that you're very personable with everyone on social media and all that. Like I see you on a bunch of people's shows. I just saw the letter that got written to you. That was a beautiful thing. Like you're really inspiring people. You're really, touching people and you're doing great things, man. And like I said, I love that you're talking to everyone. You're not one of these people who just, they're getting too big, you forget, you're real, you're in Knicks Nation heavy and all that, So you're doing some great things and the show's doing great. You're killing it, brother. So nothing but success with everything. You got the YouTube channel you just started to. So good luck with that. I've been watching your stuff. So keep killing it, brother. Like I said, we're definitely going to do this again. But on that note, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely going to do this again. I'm Chris LeBron. That's Pierre Pee Wee the plug. We are off. Take care, guys. Be well, be safe, be kind to each other. Take care. Let's go, Knicks.
Yes, sir.